Hey everyone, I'm Tim Freitas from the Garden of English. Imagine you strolled into your literature class one day and your teacher surprised you with the task of outlining a literary analysis essay before you had to write the whole thing. Would you be able to sit down and crank out the assignment without any questions or issues? Or would you struggle a bit because you wouldn't know the easiest way to approach the task? Would you even know how to translate the outline into a whole essay later on? Let me ask you another question. Do you actually know how parts of an essay function to interrelate ideas? If you've answered no to any of my last 3 questions, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to outline your essays in a way that interrelates your thesis statements and prepares your topic sentences so that you can easily produce any literary argument essay. This outline will be so precise you'll be able to translate it directly into your essay itself because you'll have already done all of your critical thinking. After that, you just need to execute the essay task. Let me begin here by reminding you of what we've covered so far in my other videos in this series. First, let's remember the prompt that we're responding to. This is a modified version of the Macbeth question 3 prompt that comes from the Garden of English's Lit support materials. Those are extensive review and assessment materials that correlate with all elements of the AP Lit course and exam description. You can access the prompt and the Lit support materials by clicking the link right down in the description below this video. As for the prompt itself, you're going to see it pop up right on your screen in just a second. Now, we've already learned how to break down the prompt, and we've then moved on to write thesis statements. If you've never watched the thesis statement video, it's also linked in the description, so you need to check that out. But if you have seen the thesis video already, then let's take a moment to look at 2 versions of the thesis that we're relying on to produce a full essay response to this guilt prompt. I'm about to show 2 thesis statements on the screen. Each would be entirely acceptable in response to this prompt. But know that one example is a closed thesis. This means it will map out exactly what literary events or elements will be discussed throughout the essay and in each paragraph. And the other is an open thesis, which provides more freedom and doesn't limit you to specific elements. Either one of these following thesis statements that are about to show up on your screen would readily set you up for success when responding to this particular prompt. Here they are. Okay, so enough review. Let's get into producing topic sentences that would allow you to successfully outline an essay, especially a timed essay. Every topic sentence that you ever write should always include a minimum of 3 elements. A reference to the example that you're going to present in your paragraph, a reference to the literary effect of your example that you're going to explore in your commentary, and language that interrelates your paragraphs. We're going to call this transitional language. When you're writing any type of lit analysis essay, you should also always include the author's name. So, the basic template for any topic sentence in a literary analysis would look like this. Now, this is just a generic template for any literary topic sentence ever, but I want to actually provide you with 3 specific templates that will work for you on exam day when responding not only to your literary argument prompt, but actually any of the prompts that are on the test, whether it be poetry or prose as well. Let me show you the more specific templates, and then we'll apply them to our Macbeth essay. Here are the more specific templates. During any timed writing, I encourage my students to have a minimum of 3 body paragraphs, and I also encourage my students to write about literary events and elements in the order of which they appear in the story itself. Writing chronologically allows for a strong line of reasoning to be established. So, let's check out what a strong topic sentence would look like if I chose to use example thesis 1 from earlier in this video.
Shakespeare begins by presenting Lady Macbeth belittling and shaming Macbeth for the guilt he feels, which showcases the nonchalant facade she wears to mask her own guilt.
Couple things. Did you notice that it was not my voice that read that first topic sentence? That's because it was my student Allison. She's the one who produced all of the original models for this video series. I asked her if she wanted to be involved in the production, and she agreed. Also, I need you to notice how the literary element that I included in my first topic sentence directly correlates with the first literary element that was listed in my thesis. It's not word for word the same, but it could have been. Now, look at the last part of the sentence as well, the part that shows up after the phrase which showcases. This part of my topic sentence answers the literary effect of the literary element that I mentioned earlier in the topic sentence. The literary effect also relates directly to the claims in my thesis. Masking her own guilt relates directly to the idea that she experiences inner turmoil caused by her own feelings of inescapable regret that gnaw at her subconscious. Thus, you should be able to clearly see how my thesis guides the construction of my first topic sentence. Now, we're not writing the full paragraph yet, but if I were to write this paragraph, I'd move on to precisely describe how Lady Macbeth belittles and shames her husband, and then I would explain how all of this suggests that she's masking her own guilt. All the heavy thinking for the paragraph has been completed by creating a strong topic sentence. So the only thing that I would have left to do is actually produce the paragraph that the topic sentence guides me to create. Strong thesis statements and strong topic sentences help create strong lines of reasoning, and they direct your paper. And they direct the evidence and commentary that follows in each body paragraph. Great. Now that we've seen topic sentence 1, let's take a look at what a topic sentence for my second body paragraph would look like. It's going to show up right here.
Shakespeare later moves to detailing the nightly terrors of Lady Macbeth, highlighting that experiencing remorse and guilt is no longer avoidable for her.
Thanks again, Allison. In this example, I need you to notice how I changed the transitional language a little bit from the template to suit my own purposes. Not porpoises. There's no dolphin in here. Instead of writing then moves in my topic sentence, I changed it to later moves. I changed the template because the word then would imply that Lady Macbeth's nightmares are revealed right after the shaming of her husband. But really, these nightmares aren't fully shown until the last act of the play. Lady Macbeth started shaming Macbeth in Act 1. By changing the word then to the word later, I make up for the time jump. In this sentence, notice how I've included the nightmares mentioned in my thesis statement, and how I've connected those to experiencing unavoidable remorse as the literary effect. This remorse correlates directly with the regret that gnaws at her subconscious, which comes directly from my thesis. Thus, topic sentence 2 is strong. In this body paragraph, I'd move on to describe Lady Macbeth's nightmare, and then I would provide commentary by explaining how her nightmares highlight how her guilt is unavoidable. Before I get to the third topic sentence, I'd like to let you know that you can access all of these templates and examples on the free document provided in the video description right down below. On your way down there to access that link in the description, please click the like button and the subscribe button and any of the other buttons, because doing so keeps you not only informed about when we produce new videos that will help you read better and write better, but doing so also helps get the Garden of English info out to more and more students and more teachers who could use the support. Alright, on to the final topic sentence for our paper. Here's what it would look like.
Shakespeare concludes by depicting Lady Macbeth committing suicide in the castle in order to expose the inescapability of fate and Lady Macbeth's failed attempts to ease her own conscience.
Great. Lady Macbeth's suicide that's mentioned relates directly to her demise from the thesis, and her failed attempts to ease her conscience relate to her inescapable regret, also found in the thesis. Because her suicide is revealed at the end of the story, the word concludes brings us right there, so the topic sentence has beautiful, informative structure. To finish this body paragraph, I'd describe Lady Macbeth's dismal end, and then I'd explain how it shows how she could never outrun her own conscience. In 4 sentences, I can outline my whole essay and do all of my heavy thinking. The only thing I'd have to do after this is actually produce the full body paragraphs that follow the projection of the thesis and the correlating topic sentences. Now, I want to concede one point. These topic sentence templates are a little bit mechanical. They are complex, but their patterns are identical, and it may seem a little bit repetitive to some folks. So, if you wanted to learn how to vary your topic sentences so they didn't all have the same structural pattern, but still included all of the mandatory parts, check out the varied samples that I've included on the template document in the description. Varying sentence structure is an advanced writing technique, and it can be one way to begin developing a vivid and persuasive style as you write. Alternating between templated structure and the varied structures could work significantly to your benefit, especially on your AP Lit exam day. Once you've checked out the varied topic sentence structures that I provided for you, why don't you join me in my next video to learn how to best integrate your textual evidence in your body paragraphs. You can see how to do that by watching what's about to pop up right on your screen.